Hello, everybody. This is Alia Jamal, the Love Coach, and we are meeting for another Love Circle. And today's topic is the heart. I am absolutely in love with this topic and also talking about it in the way that we are going to. And that is the foundation of your relationship with self. My work exists because of this topic, the relationship that we have with ourselves. That is my expertise, and you can see how excited I am to talk about that. The reason I get so hyped about it every time I think of it, because this is something we don't even realize. Because we live with ourselves all of our life, we completely neglect that there is a relationship that requires nurturing. We demand from ourselves. We ask ourselves, we push ourselves, but we never take a moment and realize, hey, there's a give and take going on here. I'm taking a lot. Am I giving anything back to myself? There's a lot of assumption going on. There's a lot of like entitlement kind of mentality going on that, just because I got up this morning, that means my body's supposed to do all these kind of stuff. And when you start thinking about it this way, in the beginning, it feels weird that you're treating yourself as a third person. But once you start paying attention to it, your life is going to become so much easier. So that is what we are going to get into today. Your relationship with yourself. What is the foundation? How is the foundation? Is it a shaky foundation or is it a solid foundation? How you can make it even more solid. So first, just let's look at what is a relationship to you. We all have our own unique definitions of words or what it means to us. So I want you to pay attention to what relationship means to you. And I would share with you what relationship means to me. And our definition might be very different. And I don't just rely on Google for that. Yeah, dictionary can give us an example or a definition. But what does that mean to me? Because I'm creating my reality based on my perception. I can tweak it and change it based on what Google is saying or what a dictionary is saying or what I'm saying to you guys. But at the end of the day, how you perceive your world, that is how you create it. So to me, relationship means a two-way street. It feels like flow. It feels like I can lean on it. I can depend on it. It feels like I don't need to be something I'm not. I can be authentic. If it's a place where I cannot be authentic, it's not really a relationship to me. Then it's just obligation that I'm keeping. So if I'm meeting with a person, I'm just going to talk about weather. I'm going to talk about their health. I'm going to talk about like the weird topics of the world, but there's no relationship going on. That's how I look at relationship. And now I want you to pick like, 3 relationships in your life. It could be a friend. It could be one with your sibling. It could be your intimate partner. Let's start with friendship. So usually we say, you hear in self-development world, be your best friend. I don't believe in that. And this is the reason why I don't believe in that. I have had many best friends in my life. And I have had many best friends who are estranged at this point. I have no idea where they are. I have had friendships that were so close and tight, and then we didn't talk for months on end. So I am not going to be best friend in my relationship because the examples my mind have or the definition my mind has, a friendship can fall apart, but my relationship with myself cannot. If it does, every other relationship is going to suffer because my relationship with myself is creating every other relationship. So think about the best friend that you had. And when that relationship was really, really good, when you felt like I can lean on this person anytime, what was going on? For me, I'll share with you, the person was available. The person was non-judgmental. They were very good listener. And I could say anything to them without any filters, not like mean stuff, but whatever I'm feeling, I could be authentic. So write that down, write those words down, how you felt when the relationship was really, really good. Now think about maybe a sibling. How was the relationship between you and that sibling when it was really good? Maybe right now you haven't talked to that sibling for the last 5 years. Maybe you could share your secrets with them. Maybe you could even share your worries with them. Maybe you could even share things that you were ashamed of, but you felt no shame in that relationship. Maybe they always made time for you. Maybe you could even borrow money from them. It was that close. Maybe you could even seek advice from them. So write down all of that, because what we are doing, we are taking the best of the relationship, any relationship, and we are kind of viewing, okay, what does it look like? Right now, we are putting everything in front of us. Now think of if you ever experience a soulmate type of relationship. Now, the thing about soulmate is that is also a word we cannot use. General public think there's one soulmate and it's your soulmate and you're gonna meet with that soulmate and then you're gonna live happily ever after. But in the energy world, when you start looking at the fourth dimension and the fifth dimension, there are multiple soulmates. So if that is information that you're like, oh, what? That's such a disappointment. I was just looking for that one soulmate. I'm gonna find that person and my life is gonna be so wonderful. No, there are multiple soulmates. There's another kind of soul relationship exists called twin flame, and there are multiple other relationship exist. So if we are thinking about that one person who's gonna come and complete me, and then I'm gonna live happily ever after, I am sorry to burst that bubble. Because that doesn't exist. That only exists in the movies, in the novels, in the way this universe is created. We each and every one of us is complete already. We come together to play with people who we enjoy being around. They could be very similar to us. They could be very different from us. They maybe like to do the same thing that we do, or maybe they don't. In that moment of our development, we choose that. So I just wanted to share this a little bit so your mind doesn't go to oh, my soulmate relationship was like that, but then you're like, okay, that ended, so I cannot depend my relationship on that either. Yeah, it's very possible. You met your soulmate in this lifetime. You spent 10, 20 years with them. It was great. And then all of a sudden when you're 60, it just fell apart. And you're like, what? We're supposed to die together. We're supposed to get old together, retire together. So that is where the confusion comes. There is a bit of fiction added to the whole soulmate concept, but the way we are created in the universe is a little bit different. So now think about that wonderful romance you had. Maybe you had it in your teenage years, in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. Maybe you're still married to that person. When on those days, when it's just perfect, what characteristics are there? Is it that the other person is just available for you? They can listen to anything that you have to say. They show up for you. What is it that makes it so wonderful to have them around? Is it that they are complimenting you? Is it that you can truly enjoy the intimate time with them? You can really have fun. You can really explore your sexual fantasies with them because you're not afraid of being judged. You just open up 100%. What are those parts? Now write that down too. So now we got 3 pieces of paper going on in front of us. And now look at it. This is the best of what you have experienced in a human body, a relationship. These are the characteristics. And this is what we are going to use to create the foundation of our relationship with ourselves. And the reason we need to even do that, because no one ever taught you. It's a very, very rare that somebody taught you, you need to have a relationship with yourself. You need to nurture that relationship. We are told, like, be kind to yourself. Hey, love yourself. What are those things? How do you even do that when from the moment you were born, you were compared with someone else? You were told you're making a mistake. You were told you're not doing things the right way. So what end up happening, the end product is we are in a grown body, adult with so many responsibilities, but we criticize ourselves so much. We don't even let ourselves sleep enough. We don't even feed ourselves the right way. We're not getting enough nutrition. So what's happening? Over time, our body is having all kinds of aches and pains. And I'm included in that too. I'm still learning how to take care of my body in a better way, how to have a healthy relationship with my body. We don't even acknowledge our emotions sometimes because it's like, well, I'm a mom. I can't be sad right now. That is a very toxic relationship. And especially if you're a person who label everybody as toxic relationship, this is where I'm going to get really honest. If I am attracting a toxic relationship outside of me, I have a toxic relationship with myself. And just last night, I was in a class and I was asking my teacher, hey, you were talking about if I'm having a hard time letting go, the other person is not letting go either. Like, you see where my mind is going? I wanted to blame the other person. And the teacher go, yeah, when we are stubborn, we attract stubborn people. So you need to learn how to let go so that person can learn how to let go. Isn't that so wonderful that I am the person who's controlling my world? If there is somebody I want to blame, I really want to blame, it's actually coming from within me. So I cannot really blame anybody. All the time, all I have to do is course correct within me, shift it a little, a little bit more, a little bit more. That is development. That is when I am revealing more of me, the real, true, authentic me, when I am course correcting a little every single day. But if even for a moment I go outside of me and I start blaming all these people, look, this person is toxic, that person is this, that person is that person is unfair. What am I doing? I am not inside of me course correcting. So those people who stay there, I can live like that for 20, 30 years, labeling everybody toxic, but who's actual toxic person in my life? Me, not anybody else. And this takes a very deep level of honesty to come to this conclusion, and then do the work to create the change that is going to create the change in who I attract in my life. And also, of course, then I have to learn how to confront other people. Those are all the other layers of me developing as a person. Because there are some people, for example, family members, we cannot really get rid of them. Those are blood relationships. We still meet with them. And it's very possible that I am shifting and developing and I'm changing and changing and changing, and they are staying the same person. So then I need to figure out how I'm going to communicate with them from new level of energetical boundaries. So just wanted to put that there. So you don't think like, I'm preaching, only focus on yourself and you don't have to talk to other people. No, that's another level of skill. We have to learn how to be able to discern and how to have those difficult conversations. But when I have a solid relationship with myself, it becomes so much easier to have those conversations. Because I'm going to get into and show you what are the pieces that create that. But first, I wanted to put in front of you, what is a relationship for you? What is it that you're looking for? Because whatever you're looking for outside of you, that is what you want inside of you, because that is where it's created. So now if you have put down well, that person was available, that person listened to me, that person paid attention to me, they, admired me, they supported me. All those things are that you'll be doing for yourself. So from this moment on, you're going to start making time for yourself. That's why I highly preach the concept of dating yourself, going on a solo vacation with yourself. But keeping in mind, I am going away for 2 days, 3 days just with myself. I am not bringing a laptop. I am not just going for a family vacation and then I'll take 2 days off over here, or a work trip and then I'll take a day off over here. None of that. Treating yourself as the most important person in your life, even more important than a soulmate, even more important than a best friend, even more important than the closest sibling you had. Sometime when we get really honest, like when I got very honest with myself, it almost felt like I hate myself and I'm running away from myself. And then the moment of realization came where I was like, wait a minute, but I'm the only person I'm going to live with for the rest of my life. When I go to the bathroom, I am with me. No one else comes there. When I'm sleeping, I am with me. No one else is there. Even if I have a partner, the partner goes to sleep. I wake up in the middle of the night. It's just me and me. So I cannot think about myself that way. So putting these three relationships within yourself, come up with a guideline. This is how I'm going to treat myself. And I'm going to show you how to build that foundation. But this is like, the surface level. You have these rules. Okay, from now on, this is what I'm going to do for myself. And I'll say come up with 10, 20, 30, whatever feels good to you. The way I stay really on top of my relationship, on every birthday, I started this ritual 3 years ago. Once I filed for divorce, I wrote down my vows with myself. So those were the promises I'm going to do my best to keep with myself for the rest of the year. Now I have switched them to every birthday. So this birthday, for example, last birthday, I wrote down 30 things. This birthday, I wrote down 10 things because I feel like it's going pretty good. And then there are 10 things I want to really focus on for this year. So every now and then I go in, I read that list, like, how am I doing here? Am I really showing up for myself? Am I really doing what I said I'll do for myself? So you can come up with your own version of 10, 15 things for yourself that you're committing in terms of your relation to yourself. So those are the things, the list that you created now. How do we make that happen? The most important thing in any relationship is safety. When I work with single ladies who have never been married, sometimes they'll say, I want to marry somebody that it feels like coming home when I am with them. What is that? That is a deep sense of safety. Home means to all of us that I don't have to go anywhere. I can be whoever I want to be, and nobody is invading my space. So what that is, I'm going to put a name to it, psychological safety. We feel like I am safe with this person. The person is not going to attack me. The person is going to accept me. The person is going to trust me. Now, do you feel psychologically safe with yourself? If you're criticizing yourself, if you're comparing yourself, if you're using the word stupid for yourself, there is no psychological safety. But you will catch yourself and your friends doing that all the time. When I am talking, I am so present with every single word I am saying about myself. That's where I started. And now it's natural for me to talk very good about myself and also talk very good about your others too. When I'm going to start talking good about myself, naturally, I'll talk good about other people as well, because I have shifted that within me. If I'm not criticizing myself, I'm not going to criticize you either. If I criticize you, there is guarantee, 100% guarantee I'm criticizing myself. So it's very common. I'll see people, they are criticizing everybody, the government, the society, the parents, the kids, everybody, the husband. And then we'll talk about self-criticism and they're like, yeah, I'm very accepting of myself. I don't criticize myself. What's happening there? They cannot even see their unconscious behavior, their unconscious thoughts. They are not even aware and honest that they can see what's going on within them. That requires work. That requires making a decision. That requires having the guts to be honest. It really does take guts to be honest. It's like, okay, I am not going to fool myself anymore the way I'm thinking about myself. And this year I am getting even, because once the year started, I told myself, okay, Alia, this unconditional self-love is going many, many, many folds this year. And that decision brought so many opportunities so I can get even deeper, be able to find the thoughts that I haven't been able to find about myself before. It requires that kind of dedication. And this work pays off because what it does, it creates psychological safety within you. So now, how do we even create psychological safety within you? Because when you feel that, that is when your relationship with yourself is really good. So the foundation of that is trust, acceptance. When you really trust yourself, when you really accept yourself, and I am not talking about body image acceptance. I accept, I am like, this body size. I accept my face is like that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, I accept, I don't finish things on time. And I'm okay with that. I am not going to criticize myself. I'm not going to even push myself. When we accept that energy, that release that happens when we accept, it makes us channel of more energy that's going to put us in a different level of actions. But the way we are taught, we're like, no, push yourself to take actions. Who cares about acceptance? Acceptance is for losers. You're just going to sit there and do nothing. But what that push is doing is taking you further apart from yourself. And the impact it has on our health, I can give a whole speech about that. So I'm just going to put that to side, because you're draining yourself from your energy. It takes about a decade and you'll have all kind of interesting diseases growing in your body. So when I accept myself just the way I am, so I will tell you, I am not good at spelling. I don't even bother with it. Every now and then I'll get like, somebody taking a screenshot telling me, hey, you misspelled. I do my own social media. I don't have any person doing that for me yet. And it's just like, okay, that's who I am. I accept it. Because I also realize that a person who's going to work with me, they are not going to focus on my spelling. The person who's focusing on my spelling, that person is very critical of themselves and they are very critical of others. When we are in that energy, we are not at the point where I'm honest and I am ready to change. I work with people who are honest and they are ready to change. So it's like, okay, you can criticize me. I have accepted it. Sometimes when I talk, words are going all over the place. I have just accepted that about me. Well, at some point I'll go for a speech training. I don't know, but I have just accepted that. I am more organized than more people I know. I have just accepted that. My son gets so irritated sometimes from that, because everything needs to have a place and that's how it goes. It keeps me sane. At some point in my life, I came up with that. It keeps me sane. I accept that. I'm not trying to change that as long as it's hindering my life. If there's a part of me that's hindering my life, then I accept it and I'll work on it. But right now we are talking about just accepting yourself the way you are. You can even accept the parts like, maybe I haven't been able to secure a very wonderful relationship so far. I'm divorced and I'm okay with that. First, I had to accept that because there's so much shame that comes with when there is a breakup happening. And divorce is like the highest level of breakup you can have, especially when it happens after kids. So if I didn't accept that within me, I'm not going to feel psychologically safe within me. It doesn't matter what someone else is telling me about me being divorced, what that means in their world. It doesn't matter. The safety has to be within you. So that is the thing about acceptance. Again, very deep, we can forever talk about it. The other part is trust. Now, trust is something it took me a while to understand when I started studying with my coach, David Nagel. It took me a long time to understand what trust is. What trust is, no matter what happens, no matter what you say to me, no matter what you do to me, no matter how someone else treats me, I will be okay. So trust is an internal strength that is built. Now, I can only say with all honesty, I will be okay if I got my back, if I am feeling safe within me. But if I'm not feeling safe within me, then when you say something to me that's not very polite, I'm going to feel hurt. I'm like, how could you say that? That hurts. Don't you know that hurts? I want you to apologize because I am not okay when you treated me different than what you should have treated me like. Because I am not feeling safe within me. I was depending on you to make me feel safe, and now you're not making me feel safe. So we have a problem here. And the way trust is built, it's every single thing that you do for yourself. When I wake up in the morning, did I brush my teeth? Did I wash my face? Did I put new clothes on my body? Or is it like 4 p.m. and I'm still in my PJs? All the elements of self-care that goes in where my body knows, okay, we can depend on Alia to feed us 3 times a day, very healthy food. If I am going towards Cheetos, which I have been doing lately, summer break, ice cream, Doritos, my body's like, not really trusting her to take care of us. Would you trust a babysitter, leaving your kids with a babysitter who only feeds kids stuff that comes out of a box? Or would you bring your home cooked food from home and you're like, when my kid is hungry, give them this? So that is exactly how we are building that trust when we are showing up for ourselves, when we say what we do, when I show up somewhere on time. I didn't even know before I started this. I have been, at some point, I decided I'm always going to be on time. So it's very rare that I get somewhere late. But once I learned when a person is not showing up on time, they are not trusting themselves. When I need someone else's opinion, when I need validation from someone else, those are all the signs I am not trusting myself. But at the bottom of it all, it goes to safety. When I trust myself, or when I trust you, when I accept myself, or I see you accept me, I'm feeling safe. One is feeling safe outside of you, and one is feeling safe within you. And the most important asset you can have is safety within you. Once you have safety within you, oh my God, the world is different. You're free. You're a free bird. No one can make you feel guilty, manipulate you through shame, manipulate through all the ways we manipulate each other. We deal with people who have personality disorders in our life. They cannot do any of that when we are feeling safe within ourselves, when we trust ourselves, when we accept ourselves. And I know these are concepts, so we are going to again go to steps. So how do you consistently hit, like, build this relationship with yourself that would increase your trust in yourself. It will increase your acceptance. And as a result, the foundation, psychological safety within yourself. So we're going to start with thoughts. What are you thinking about yourself? If you're thinking, I'm a loser, I should have been somewhere else already, and I'm not, that is a toxic relationship. That thought is attacking your acceptance, your trust, and creating psychological unsafety within you. You don't feel safe within you if you're having the thought, I should have been somewhere else already. And I know it is so challenging to find those thoughts and to transform them or to drop them or to learn, build that muscle and that level of mental control that I am not thinking this thought anymore. I know it requires a lot of work. I'm doing that every single day. But when you change the way you think about yourself, you free yourself. You free yourself from the illusion that we live in, that everything needs to be perfect, that you need to be perfect all the time. You are already perfect outside of this body. You're just like God, at that perfect, because you're a divine being. Once you come in a body, you come in a body to do something. And you're coming in the body to do something that is overcoming some level of imperfection. And that doesn't mean that you are imperfect as your existence. I know it doesn't make sense, but once you start doing this work, you're like, okay, I can feel I am perfect, but when I am in this body, I want to learn how to love more deeply, how to learn to love more deeply towards myself or towards people who have hurted me. So that is something you are developing. That could be an imperfection of the physical world, but in the non-physical world, that part of you is always complete. And that is the energy we need to be plugged into. And that is a relationship. We need to make it so solid, so good, nurture it all the time, be present with your soul all the time, that you feel like you got a companion, that you're not alone anymore. So coming back to this one, the way you think about yourself. And I would just say, take out one day, like a date with yourself, go out in the woods and make a list how you think about yourself. And when you stop at number 5, give yourself 10 minutes and then write another 5. I can assure you, if you keep pushing yourself, you can get to at least 50. The way you think about yourself, you might find some good ones in there. For example, I really worked hard to put this thought in there that I am such a wonderful mom. I am so impressed by myself being the mom I am. Does that mean I have stopped working on my motherhood? No, I work on it every single day. I ask my son, how else can I improve? Because I believe he's the best person who can tell me that, because he's on the receiving end of it. I can think all that I'm a good mom, but if he thinks, okay, when mom yelled at me at that moment, or when she made this rule and whatnot, so that is me being very honest. I'm asking the person who would actually be able to give me an honest opinion. Second one is the way you talk about yourself. If you are using the S word, and with my clients, I say the S word, calling yourself stupid, you are not talking good about yourself. You have to really talk about yourself from the place of that perfection that you are, the highest worthy being that you are. And it's not that you're going to become arrogant. A lot of people think that, they want to. So sometimes this is how people talk. I just analyze. I don't want to toot my own horn, but I am this and this and that. Why did they have to put that clause in there? Because unconsciously they are thinking this person is going to think I'm arrogant. So let me put this clause in here. So what I'm going to say after this, where I'm going to praise myself, I can justify it. Why do we need that? We don't need that. When I'm saying something about something, I just talk. But I had to learn to do that. And sometimes I go on long tangents of like, what I'm discovering with myself and the way my gifts are opening. For example, very recently, another of my spiritual gifts opened up where I was with a friend who kind of, took a nap, and I could see they're being still sitting there communicating with me. And I was like, wow, that is so cool. I'm not going to say I don't want to toot my horn. That's to be celebrated. Let's celebrate it. Let me inspire you to work on your spiritual gifts to a level where you can break away from this illusion that everything is physical. No, everything is energy. And you're an unlimited being. But it starts with the way you talk about yourself. Are you talking about yourself from a place where you think there's something wrong with you? Or you're talking about yourself from a place understanding you're perfect, and in the physical body, you'll always be working on yourself. Like people who have been doing this work for 40 years, they're still working on themselves. We are masterpiece in the making, but they also recognize that in our energy essence, the soul that we are perfect. We have all the knowledge. We don't need to do any work. But when we come into the physical experience, we came here for a reason. So paying attention to the way you talk to yourself inside your mind and verbally. When you're giving that pep talk to yourself, pay attention to how many curse words you're using. None is allowed, because words have energy. They have so much power. If we can only master how to talk about ourselves and how to think about ourselves, we can unleash all of our power. But it's a challenge. It's a challenge because we got all these behaviors and patterns, and the society is inspiring. Every time you go to the mall, even the skinniest person, even the most beautiful person comes home thinking they need to lose more weight. They need to get some more work done on their face so they look more beautiful. Or maybe they need to put on more makeup so they look beautiful. What's that? That's not art. That's outside energy that we have grabbed. So being so careful how you talk about yourself outwardly, inwardly, so you are building that trust, you're building that acceptance. So the bottom line, you're feeling safe within yourself. The next one is, I got two more, the way you see yourself. Now, this is about perception. So I might talk really good about myself. I might think really good about myself because I'm consciously controlling it. I'm using my conscious mind and I'm like, you know what? I want to change the way I treat myself, or I'm building my better relationship with myself. So let me think good about myself. Let me talk good about myself. But then comes the perception. How do I truly see myself? How am I unconsciously perceiving myself? Am I perceiving myself as a very successful, wonderful woman? Or am I perceiving myself as a total loser? That is again where safety, honesty come in place, because our perceptions get modeled by other people's perception of us. Again, we pick up that energy. So when I started doing this work, I had to sit down and make a decision. How am I going to perceive myself? So I perceive myself from a place of my soul, that I am a magical soul in this body, living this life. Let's see what happens next. So that's how I can stay in this moment. I see myself as someone who want to live their light, and they want to work with the darkness part, not suppress it, not make it run away, but let's understand it. Can I transform that? Transforming piece by piece. Do I see myself as 100% perfect in my physical experience? No, I don't. There are moments where I'm like, okay, I'm here and I can see I can be way up there, but I'm not there yet. And right away I have to come in and say, but this is exactly where I'm supposed to be. So then I'm not letting the judgments or the conditioning from the world seep in there. That is called guarding your mind from other people, from rest of the consciousness, guarding your own consciousness. So how you see yourself, I will give you a very quick tip. Every morning when you wake up is a blank state. Decide, how do you want to see yourself today? Like today, I woke up with a massive headache. Today was one of the days that I was like, can I just turn off today and can we just move to tomorrow? And then I took a deep breath. First, I did one 30-minute meditation. Then I did another 30-minute meditation. Then I did another thing. I kept my word with myself. I had all the reasons to not do today. I kept my words with myself. My trust in me just increased. And I saw myself as a person who can just be. Like today, I'm just going to be. I'm not going to try to do anything. Today, I'm just going to see myself as being. So when I was in my meditation, I just focused on what is this being? I saw the light, I saw the colors, I saw everything, I felt the feeling. And I'm like, when I open my eyes, I'm just going to carry that for the rest of the day. That's how I'm choosing to see myself today. For example, let's say if I wake up tomorrow and tomorrow I have guests coming over, how am I going to see myself now? Am I going to see myself as someone who's frantic, panic, or who's thinking what I'm cooking, what I'm cleaning, all that? Or am I seeing myself as a person who just shows up and is present? A person who actually has fun, a person who is going to enjoy. So perception is something you can truly change it every single moment. You can change it hour by hour. You can set it for the whole day. Most of the time, I just set it for the whole day and how I'm going to see myself today. I can see myself as a very successful person in whatever I'm doing. For example, if I'm going to write, I'm going to see myself with that level of success that I can write perfect. And I just tried that yesterday, that I wrote with perfection, and 1.5 hours, I was able to do stuff that I'll do maybe in 3 hours. So how you see yourself makes a huge difference how you control your life. You control your relationship with yourself every single day. So before we go to the next one, if you are seeing yourself as a sad, depressed, struggling, stuck person, first start with, can I see myself as a very unstuck, a person who just knows where they are going, a person who's harmonious, who is in alignment with their soul, with their life, with the direction of life they are going. You can do it with eyes closed, you can do it with eyes open, but then hold that awareness, that level of consciousness with your eyes open and carry that through your day. So let's say you're showing up on a job interview and internally you're like, I have no idea who I am. I'm a total loser. Will I get this job or will I not get this job? That is your perception of yourself. That's how you're seeing yourself in that moment. You can switch it to, you can become conscious and you can switch it to, I am seeing myself as one of the best candidates. That is how I'm seeing myself. It's not about fake it till you make it. It's about the potential that is within you. You're dialing into a different lens. And when you truly feel it with your eyes closed, you connect with the energy of it. When you connect with the energy of it, and when that feeling is in your body, you're not faking it anymore. You actually just jump to another level of consciousness. You're not faking it till you make it. You jump to another level of your existence. So when you're going to have that interview, the person is going to feel your energy. When we try to fake it till we make it, we are staying in the conscious level of controlling the thoughts, controlling what we are saying. But when we go towards perception, and we are connecting with the feeling, you're literally stepping into another dimension of your own self. Now you're playing with energy field. You're not just stuck in the human physical form. You're expanded out of it and you're playing with the energy of that you are. I really hope I didn't confuse you guys on the seeing part. The last one is how you treat yourself. So that is where the physical actions come. If you're not getting enough sleep because you think you don't need it and you can compromise it, like one time I heard you need to earn your sleep. And I was like, who's teaching that? Who's teaching that you need to earn your sleep? You don't need to earn anything. Sometime when we talk about, I deserve this, I don't like that word. When we say I deserve this, or I am worthy of this, I don't like that language, to be honest, because I feel like it gives us a sense that if I do X, Y, and Z, I win this reward. Even if you do nothing, your creator is still gonna give you everything. That's how special you are, whether you feel it or not. Change your language and you'll start feeling it. Like in my household, my son is not allowed to use the word deserve. I'm not allowed to use the word deserve either. And sometimes I do. Sometimes I get upset and I'm like, I deserve to get a 10-minute break. And then I stop and I'm like, I want a 10-minute break right now. It does take work to take those words out, because at your highest level, you are already everything. You don't need to earn anything. All we need to do is become aware and connect, plug into that being that we are. So if, let's say, you start seeing yourself, you start talking to yourself, you start thinking about yourself in the highest way possible, how would you treat yourself? Would you take yourself on a vacation? Would you give yourself regular rest time, deep rest? Would you go to bed on time? Would you give yourself 7 to 8 hours of sleep? Would you give yourself a lot of water? Would you give yourself good food? Would you be able to say no when someone is saying things to you that you don't want to hear, or they're demanding of you something that you know that you'll be spreading yourself thin? Every time we say no, we allow more of our light to come through, because it's difficult to say no. And in that moment, if I say, I know it's difficult, I'm still gonna say no, it's almost like you're becoming channeled to that divine energy within you. So think of the people that we really look up to, people we find that, you know, they're so impressive. Those are the people who say no a lot. And then we say, oh, this person just know their boundaries and they have created those boundaries, as if boundaries are some walls that you need to be an architect to create. No, they just learn how to treat themselves well. They have a very healthy relationship with themselves. That's how they are able to do it. I know we went way over time today, but this was just a topic I wanted to get across as much as I can. So the foundation of your relationship with yourself is psychological safety. How you feel psychologically safe within you? When you accept yourself, when you trust yourself, when you are every single moment building those two, that is by thinking good about yourself, or let me rephrase that. Thinking as the highest level of thinking about yourself, the highest level of talking about yourself, the highest level of seeing for yourself, the highest level of treatment to yourself. When we take care of those four, the bottoms, they stay intact and they keep getting stronger and stronger and stronger. Now, if I feel Alia is not gonna attack me, no matter what happened, even if I run my car into the wall, Alia is not going to attack me. I feel psychologically safe within me. That means I have a healthy relationship with myself. And I actually experienced that about a month ago. I was stopped by a cop. My car had to get towed because my registration has expired for 9 months. How did I miss that, right? That would be the first thing. Everybody else thought like, what a stupid mistake. And of course, there were financial consequences, and there were also time strain type of consequences, because at the moment I have only one car, and I had to get a ride back home with the officer. And then I had to figure out how I'm going to do all these things so I can get my car back. So everyone else is thinking like, my God, what a waste of money, what a waste of time, what this, what that, but not for a single second. And that's where I celebrated. Alia said anything about it. She went right into, oh, I'm so happy we found it. I even said it to the officer. I was like, I am so grateful you stopped me and I found out about it. That was first time when I saw in such a wonderful way the work I have done to build a good relationship with myself showed up. I didn't feel even a tiny bit critical towards myself for missing something that important. But I switched right away into, I am so grateful I found it here, because apparently you cannot drive your car at all instead of being like, 100 miles away from home. I was only a mile away from home. So when you do this work, it seems very simple. It takes a lot of discipline. It takes a lot of commitment to do it. But once you do this work, it pays off big time. You discover inner safety, inner freedom, and that is when all of your life can come through you. If this is the work you're ready to go deeper and do, please reach out to me. Find me, Alia, the Love Coach, on social media. I'd love to be your guide. If you have any question, again, reach out to me. I would love to hop on a call and explain more to you, maybe according to your own specific situation. And I will see you all next Thursday. Sending so much love. Bye.